I'm meteorologist Monica Woods looking at our northern and central California forecast. In our regional headlines along the coast, we've got fog and also the potential of some minor flooding. For the valley, staying cool and a fall-like feel for the foothills in the Sierra. Thunderstorm risk is going to elevate that fire danger as well. Coastal Valley flood advisory continues through very early Thursday morning. Some high tides, so some parking lots and things of that nature might see some higher water. Just be aware of that if you're headed towards the coast. Had some morning fog kind of trying to press through parts of the Coastal Valley community near Solano County. Didn't quite make it into Nevada, Calaveras and Placer counties. Once we get above that fog, we saw clear skies for the most part. A little bit of high cloud cover, some instability out there, and that's going to elevate the risk of some Sierra thunderstorms. Highs for today in the low to mid 90s up and down the valley, 60s for the coast, 80s for much of the foothills, and 70s for the high country. Looking at our July so far for the Sacramento area, you see a lot of blue up there. Below average conditions continue to persist. Now, our average high so far, 90.4 degrees. That's going to be below what we normally see. Not to mention, we've only had one 100-degree day this month. Last time we saw that, 1993. And the last time we saw no 100s for the month, 2004. So this rare July outlook will continue, and probably favorably so as well. Low pressure system off the coast, well, that's going to add some instability to this year and also give us a risk of thunderstorms. Started off with mostly clear skies today for the Tahoe Basin with fairly calm conditions. But again, Wednesday afternoon, we see that risk of thunderstorms. And then for Thursday, it expands throughout the northern part of the state with a risk of lightning sparked fire. So some higher fire potential developing for the forecast there. As far as what we're looking at for our Wednesday, chance of thunderstorms Thursday, that expands a bit more through the Sierra Spine. Northern California already dealing with a couple of big fires this year. For Friday afternoon, once again, see that chance of thunderstorms throughout the Sierra. Onshore flow, that'll keep us on the cooler side all throughout central and northern California for this very abnormally cool July, which will likely wrap up with one of the coolest that we've seen in recent memory. Highs are in the 70s for the Tahoe Basin today with that chance of thunderstorms. As we move into the foothills, we're in the 70s and 80s. In the central Sierra, we've got that risk of thunderstorms today, predominantly around Yosemite with a high of 83. Once we move into the valley, the San Joaquin Valley, unseasonably cool as well. Great for all those agricultural interests with temperatures near 90. We're at 75 for Pinehurst. Moving over towards the central coast from the Monterey Bay Peninsula in the 60s all the way down to Morro Bay. We're in the 60s, 73 for San Luis Obispo. As we move inland, a little bit warmer as we lose kind of a touch of that marine air. For the Bay Area, started off with quite a bit of low clouds and fog. Temperatures in the 60s, Coastal Valley communities in the 80s, Napa wine country at 77 for today. Northwest coast is going to be cool. Fort Bragg up to 60 for today. Move inland, we're in the 90s, including Redding at 93, Chico at 88. Over towards parts of the higher elevations, slight chance of a thunderstorm for today. Capital Regional forecast, highs are going to be in the 80s this afternoon, about 10 to almost 15 degrees below average. Yesterday, we only had a high of 80. Chance of thunderstorms continues for this Sierra through Saturday, potentially into our Sunday. We'll be tracking that. For the foothills, highs will stay in the 80s with dry and fall conditions continuing there. Mix of sun and clouds for the coast, lots of low clouds and fog actually socking in a lot of the Bay Area. 7-day forecast. Highs are going to start to warm by the end of the weekend. Our high 88 degrees, but it's not until next week we even get close to near average temperatures when we see our warmest days of our 10-day outlook in the low 90s.